Thank you, Arizona West Farm Credit, for this opportunity to present to you. We appreciate your commitment and support to the social well-being of the citizens in rural Arizona. And we are excited to tell you about our program and ask for a $5,000 grant to get it off the ground. We are seeking a solution through our Project Endex, to improve the mental health care of veterans across rural Arizona. Because while I believe Arizona is the best state, and there is an overwhelming amount of compassion and support that threads throughout all the small communities in this state, there is a clear disconnect between the support, compassion, and the care that our veterans are receiving. My name is Christine Downard. I'm an educator. This is my hometown, Flagstaff, Arizona, and I could not be prouder to be on the stage with these three amazing people. This is a personal project for us. We are passionate, we are committed, and we are driven to make it successful. My family and these three individuals' families together have served over 100 years within the military. My great uncle was shot down and received the Purple Heart. My father was a captain in the Army. My brother-in-law saw combat in Iraq. And my nephew is currently in officer candidate school. So I've seen the effects of a military life, as have my partners. So first I want to talk about the name Endex. Why Project Endex? Well, it turns out that Endex is a familiar military term. It means end of exercise. So no matter how tired, no matter how much pain or fear a serviceman or woman has, when they hear Endex, 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 they know that training is over, they can relax, and they can know that better things are coming. They have a time to rest. Our project is going to connect Arizona veterans to our most important resource, our land, our ranches, the animals that live there, our horses, and our people. 22 is the amount of veterans that we lose every day to suicide. I'm going to say that again. 22 veterans a day. That's almost one an hour. Arizona is disproportionately affected by that number because our Native American friends and neighbors are 50% more likely to commit suicide. Healthcare is often hours away, and by the time military members do get to a healthcare facility, providers often are not available. We were very fortunate to speak to Dr. Alan Hamilton, who's the head of neurology at the University of Arizona, an international speaker and an author and a veteran himself. And he fully believes that veterans do the best caring or the best healing when they're amongst other veterans. In fact, 50% of all suicides amongst veterans happen outside of traditional care. Veterans help other veterans. Our program will connect veterans by using our amazing landscape to calm, the power of Arizona horses to heal, and the strength of our veterans to connect. So now you know the problem. Every day that we wait, the problem grows. I'm going to turn the microphone over to Ali LaSalle Lacey, who will tell us about the science behind our program.
Hello, I'm Ali LaSalle Lacey. I'm proudly married to my husband, Stephen Garrett Lacey. Sorry. He has served in the Army National Guard for 13 years and as a military police officer. And he's currently now a Black Hawk crew chief. So I want to talk about the healing benefits of horses and the science behind it. So the Institute of Heart Math has measured the bio-directional healing that occurs when humans are within the presence of a horse. A magnemeter measures the heart energy field around the human body at about up to 8 to 10 feet. So imagine this big sphere, 8 to 10 feet radiating from your body. Now how that ties back into a horse is a horse's heart is 5 times larger than the human heart. So imagine their electromagnetic field radiating from their body. That's like 40 plus feet. So you don't even have to be touching a horse to experience healing benefits from them. So scientists have found by studying this that the horse does actually, they have the ability to change our heart rhythm just by the power of their electromagnetic field from their heart. So additionally, you hear the term, get out of your head and go into your heart. Well, that is science. That is a real term. The heart field is 60 times greater than that of the brain, okay? The magnetic field produced by the heart is 5,000 times greater than that of our brain. So when you think of that statement, get out of your head and go to your heart, that's what these horses are teaching us. That's how they are helping to heal, simply. So in our talk with Dr. Hamilton, he let us know that from his experience, he's a veteran as well, and he had his own horse program, that it was extremely beneficial to have veteran-on-veteran leadership and camaraderie with these healing sessions, these therapy sessions. Because traditional therapy for some is just, it's not in the works. It does not work for them. They're turned off by it. What veterans are seeking is camaraderie, that unity of them being back in the unit. They miss that, being with their people in service. So it's important to have veterans go through the program and lead other veterans in. On top of that, women veterans have experienced different types of trauma compared to some men. And so it was found that their healing sessions were better done if you separated the men from the women. And then some words of wisdom. Horses don't care if you're anxious, if you're happy, if you're sad. They just want you to be authentic with how you're feeling. They want you to just acknowledge that, go inside, and just be okay with it, and just be present. That is what they teach us. That is how you start to heal. One other study that we did was the Man o' War Project. So this is some of our other research. So the Man o' War Project is very recent. It was the first university study led by Columbia University. It was the first study to go through the effectiveness of horse therapy with veterans experiencing PTSD. It was founded in 2015. Earl I. Mack is a veteran himself. He's the founder. It was an avid thoroughbred lover and breeder, so he understood the importance between the human and horse connection and the importance of this need within our veteran community. They have published studies that are easily found online. They were all science-based, so easy to find online. And what they concluded is that they found that equine assisted therapy is a viable form of healing veterans with PTSD. Thank you. I'm going to pass it over to Miss Alicia.
Thank you, Allie. So my name is Alicia Phipps. I'm from Tucson, Arizona, and all my brother, my father, and my grandfather served. So this is very near and dear to me. So definitely important to all of us on this team is rolling out this Project Endex. So just a rundown on what we intend to do with this $5,000 that we're asking for is to host 4 events throughout the year in different rural communities across Arizona. So these events, it would be a half-day field day, food would be provided, we would have volunteers and facilitators, and it would be free to veterans. And also with this funding, we would like to create a nonprofit in order to facilitate the funds throughout the year, and then hopefully grow the project and keep it going. So as far as locations, we've had a lot of buy-in already from partners that we've reached out to, including the University of Arizona, the Almara Equine facility. We did a site visit, as you can see in the photos. They were very gracious hosts and very willing to partner with us and host one of these veteran events. They have a great facility with a lot of horses and a very safe environment. And then also facilitators. As you can see, we've got our Project Endex team on the stage. We've had a lot of ranchers and other outdoorsmen that are willing to volunteer and help us with these events, and also a lot of other veterans that are really interested in joining us on this adventure. Thank you. So just a quick rundown on the budget proposal. The budget, the $5,000, would help cover the venue, because we want to give a little something back. If someone's going to host us for the day or a half a day, we still want to give them something, even if so far everyone said we could use their facilities for free. But we'd still like to give them a little incentive thank you. Also, food for the event. We accounted for that for these 4 events. Also, in order to develop a nonprofit, there would be some fees with the Arizona Corporation Commission and also a yearly filing fee. So we included that in the budget. We would like to develop a website so people could look up our information, see the photos, and hopefully garner more interest that way. And also, we provided supplies to the veterans for the day, whether it's pads of paper, pencils to help them write down their thoughts or their emotions as they're going through everything. So we had miscellaneous supplies. And then also, you'll get to see we have shirts that we've designed just to help create that sense of camaraderie with our team. So we did do a test day. We did a field day where we invited 5 veterans to come up and join us for an equine coaching experience with Adrienne, Allie's mom. She's a certified coach. And we held the event in Litchfield Park. And you could see it was just a great day. The veterans got to have hands-on experience with the horses and talk to each other, help each other. And then we had the group discussion where we did a wrap-up and also asked them for their thoughts. And there was a resounding yes, that they loved it and they want to host more events like this. So with that, I'll pass it on to Javi. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Javi and I'm a veteran. I now work in safety at Gowan Milling. It's a chemical manufacturing facility in Yuma. In my job, when you find a problem, you have to do something. You can't ignore it. You can't wait on it. As we were doing our research, we found a problem. We learned that there's overwhelming support for vets. People feel connected to veterans in one way or another. It's probably the case for most people in this room today. But for some reason, when we go and meet with these veterans, that overwhelming support, it's not reaching those at the ground level, at least those in our rural communities. That's a problem. So we had to do something. We weren't ready. Our idea was still in its early stages, but we had to do something. That something started by pitching an idea and receiving a donation for t-shirts from Gowan Milling. The shirt design was simple: a salute to service members lost on American soil due to mental illness or PTSD. The 22 stars represent the 22 lives that are lost each day. The backwards flag shows the action of always moving forward. And the word index is a familiar term for veterans that instantly reminds us that it's over, we're gonna be okay. Once we had the shirts, then we just started showing up. And showing up is half the battle. The shirts started conversations. People wanna know what it's about. And once we would tell them, they either wanted one, they wanted to support, or they wanted to get involved. We came to the point where our idea outgrew us. We were creating awareness, which is great. But now what? How do we continue those connections? How do we continue that conversation? We have no website. We have no funding to continue those field days or even register as an NPO. But we do have the communities behind us. And now we have people like you that now know that there's a problem and can't ignore it. As a veteran, we made a promise to never leave a man or woman behind, whether in a foreign land or right outside these bigger cities. Please partner with us today to help us keep that promise and close those gaps, to connect those that are willing to help, those ranchers, farmers, coaches like Allie's mom, volunteers and veterans with the people that need it in the places they need it. By doing so, we can make a difference. We can do our duty, and we can call out Endex, 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 and signal to our vets that no matter how tired, aching, or hungry they are, we are here. And they're going to be okay. Thank you.
All right, whoever would like to go first?
So I would love to hear more about the 5 veterans who did your trial field day. What was some of their direct feedback about what worked, or any input on what you could change?
So our direct feedback is, as we mentioned, some of them have already tried other forms of therapy, and they weren't interested in it. They were turned off for some reason, so they just stopped going. They really liked that, us getting together, eating together. We didn't talk about anything personal. The experience was just, being out there with the horses, being around each other, and that was it. Their thoughts were to themselves in their notebook, and they really appreciated that.
I just want to jump in there real quick and say that every single person who came to our field day asked to do it again. Every single person that Javi's spoken to in Yuma, they need help. And they keep wondering when our program is going to get started.
I'll just add to that too, within my realm of military folks that I know of and the outreach that I've had, the same thing. And people that have family members in the military, they want to know, when is it starting up again? When can we do it? I'd be happy to host it. I've had ranchers tell me they're happy to host and provide and do it. Just let them know when.
So how would, going forward, we've heard from them, how would you look at the impact of this down the road? How would you evaluate its effectiveness? Have you thought about that?
I mean, just by the sheer outreach we've already had and the number of people that are asking us for this event, and then also the veterans that were involved, they're already wanting to do this again. But as far as measuring the outreach, there's the PCL-5 survey that we did. It's a standard survey that they use for veterans in therapy situations. So it's like it evaluates their mentality before going through the therapy or the field day, and then also they would retake the survey afterwards. So we have those measurable surveys that we could use for the results, for the before and after the events, and see if it actually helped them. So there is a survey in place for that.
It's a great question, and I've thought a lot about it as well, and I think Alicia nailed it as far as the science. There are some things that are not measurable, however, and some of those things are the wives and the kids that come and thank you, the veterans that thank you, and the overall peace of mind that they bring back home because of a lack of volatility that they've had just working amongst the animals. So I solely believe that this is a scientifically solid program, but the immeasurable part of it may even be more impactful.
It seems like you really have a great vision for what you want to see happen across the state. So my question is, one is, how do you plan on reaching out to the veterans, and are you going to reach out to urban and rural, or is this mainly focused just on veterans in rural areas?
I'm going to let Javi take first stab at this.
So we've already started reaching out to some of the organizations in Yuma, and we plan to do the same in other areas. There's a huge network of veteran programs, which, you know, initially I thought would be an issue, but the fact that it's not reaching certain communities, you know, that's where those partnerships come in to connect the dots and build those networks. I've gone to support groups, and basically, I'll tell you exactly, the last one I went to was in a small facility owned by the city. It was after an AA meeting. After the AA guys come out, they come in, they sit around, and they have pizza. And I think that we can do better than that for our veterans. We can give them their own space, you know, or, you know, have these events and start reaching people that way. And then veterans will bring other veterans. That's what we've seen.
So if you could wave a magic wand and hand you $5,000, is this a project that you think is feasible? Where would you start with that?
Yeah, it is feasible. I just want clarification on what do you mean, where would we start? Like location, where would we start?
Oh, sorry. No, I mean, is that something, you know, what would your steps be? Yeah, what would that?
To start it? Yes. Yeah, we've already started it. We're trying to rein it in. So we would start with actually registering the nonprofit, and then getting it organized. So we want to pinpoint at least 4 locations throughout the state to start, like probably do it quarterly, because that's really realistic for all of us right now, and realistic to like nail like the upper, you know, left corner, upper right corner, bottom left corner, bottom right corner, like centralized locations around the state where it's, you know, within maybe a couple, maybe max 3 hours drive for people to come. So that's where we would start. Registering the nonprofit, getting the locations organized, but we already have locations, like reaching out. Like Alicia and I have a location. I have another location in Northeast. Miss Christine has a location, and we have a location in Yuma. So we've kind of already battened it down. We are just trying to start continuing the forward rolling motion of getting it going. It's kind of, to be quite honest with you, it's kind of already like taken off. Like it is just like trying to go, and we're trying to keep up with it. Yeah, we had to pump the brakes.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.